Hi all, welcome back to the final whistle in for the championship predictions. Week 10. There's a lot to discuss as the football is now back. The championship, the midweek games. Yeah, it's going to be a fascinating one. There's one last international break after this one. So, yeah, we're good to be back. The boys are back, I'm back, and we're looking forward to it. None of us are late this time, so... yeah, it's fantastic. As always, get involved, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you haven't subscribed around here, please get down there and do so. If you're a championship fan, let us know which team you support in the comments. It'd be good to know who supports who and how do you think your team's going to get on this weekend. If you're watching this on playback, let us know your scores on the doors as well. And let's get the boys in. Steve, how are we?
Yeah, not bad yourself.
I'm all right. Let's get the 50-year-old man in then, shall we? It's Rich.
Whoa. Slow down. Don't make me old before my time. Do not make me old before my time. Yeah, so everyone who's watching, when I joined, these two were talking about, what happened, Steve? Did some Coventry fan, what did he say?
No. So the other week, Jack was saying on Twitter that somebody was talking about being 25, and then he went, "Yeah, well, you should see how Steve, he's 35." And I'm thinking, hang on, Jack, that's a low blow. I didn't need that to begin with. And then some Coventry fan the other week was saying, like, I said I'm 35 because he was younger than me, and he was like, "Yeah, but you look every bit of 35." And I'm thinking, you look 42. What are you talking about? You look older than I do. But anyway, yeah, that. And then we were asking about how old we think you were.
This was before I came in, and these two were having a little chat. And you went for how old?
I said 40.
I said 40. I said 42.
Yeah, I'll take both of them any day of the week. Thank you very much. Yeah, 50 next year. So you've got plenty of time to plan. January. So if you want to get me a present, and anyone watching, and you two,
All right. Big 5-0. Lovely.
Yes, big 5-0.
How about our present will be beating you in the playoff final? How's that sound? Does that sound good?
Well, let's hope that we're not in the playoff final and you finish 7th. How's that?
Maybe Leicester win the championship and Ipswich finish 7th, Steve.
Well, you never know.
Make him look even older, Steve. I'm telling you, good great by the minute thinking about that.
Well, this is because of Leicester. I look this age because of Leicester City. It's nothing else. The last 10 years have been a roller coaster, and it's aged me significantly.
It's the stress that comes with football. This is it. That's the way the cookie crumbles in life. You love football before you love a woman, and that's how life begins for us football fans. To be fair, and then when we do meet a woman, we have to somehow find a way of departing a little bit away from football to then, yeah.
You can change your woman, Jack, but you can never change your football team.
True.
That's what they say.
You always support the team that you love, and that from the off. You always, I said this to my mate the other day, Rich, that when you go to your first ever game, there's always something from that day that you think, you know what, I'm going to love this club forever. I'm going to keep supporting them. And there's always that one specific player. Who was yours, Rich, when you obviously went to your first game regarding player, and what sort of made you support him, Rich?
During the war?
Well, I went in 84 with my dad. I was 8, and I always remember, Jack, just before I go on to players, I go about when I walked up the steps. I remember the goal nets, how they used to be. They used to be them old goal nets with a stanchion. Steve will know what I'm talking about, and just the smell of sort of smoke, stale cigarettes, because obviously back then you could smoke at football and whatever. Player-wise, Jason Dazelle, Jack.
Oh. Don't have a clue that bloke is, but yeah.
Well, his son Andre plays now. Andre Dazelle plays for.
Oh, Dazelle plays for Portsmouth.
Yeah, he obviously played for us. Yeah, Andre come through our academy and followed on from his dad. His dad was the youngest scorer in the first division. He scored, Jack. Jason Dizelle scored against Coventry. This is just before I started going. I think it was March 1984, and I think he was 15.
Yeah.
And the stat for you, our under-18s, Ipswich now, have just been thrown out of the... They play their under-18s in the Suffolk Premier Cup, which is a cup round here with non-league teams. They beat a team called Hadley United, but they've been thrown out of the competition because they played a 15-year-old in that game, right? And the youngest player you're allowed to play is 16. Yeah, in the Premier League, Steve, you can play a 15-year-old. You can play a 15-year-old in the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup. So that's just a weird rule, that is.
Steve?
My first game was Leicester versus Spurs in 98. Way before your time, Jack. I don't think you were even born back then, were you? 98?
I was born, yeah. I was there. What month?
It was October, I believe. Yeah, because it was against Spurs. It was when Izzet scored that incredible volley. That was my. So that was this. I saw Heskey scored, and Izzet scored the winner to win the game. Yeah, and that was incredible. But for me, the one thing I remember is walking up the stairs for the first time and seeing the pitch for the first time.
Yeah.
Like that's something that I never get bored of. That moment where you walk, even at new grounds, I'm like, it feels so good. It's like putting on an old jacket for me. So yeah, I remember that, and yeah, for me, it was like the team. It was the legends back then in the sort of late 90s. Casey Keller in goal, Elliott and Taggart in defence, Savage, Lennon and Izzet. Zagarakis was on the bench, Heskey and Cotty. Guppy on the wing. So, the players that we all grew up thinking, we're never going to get better than this.
We had Matt Elliott
and then
on
we
loan.
did.
We had him on loan from you, Stephen, I think about 2005. We had him on loan. Brilliant player.
Yeah, he sadly retired not long after that because he just said, it's too much for me now. And that was it. So, but he was a fantastic player, Matt Elliott was.
And did you see the other day, boys, that Emil Heskey's two sons, I think they're twins, they came on for Man City in the league.
Yeah.
Cup.
Jaden and I can't remember the other one's lad's name, but I know Jaden's a massive shithouse midfielder. He's huge.
But that's
so he's got
I feel old now. When I see players' sons playing, I'm thinking, blimey, I see your dad playing. I remember going to a League Cup game. I think it was probably around the time when you started going. You beat us at Portman Road. I think Heskey was playing then. So look, that was a great team. I remember, what was the goalie Keller, Kevin, someone you had played in goal. Kevin Paul. Yeah, I remember him was playing. I remember you used to have the Walkers, I think late 90s. Did you have Walkers on your shirts?
Yep.
I think you were sponsored by them. So, yeah. Adi Akinbaye, I remember him playing for you. He was absolutely shit.
Yeah,
fucking woeful. The only worse player than that is Patson Daka. I think Patson Daka is worse than Akinbaye, in my opinion.
So you're saying he's the modern day Adi Akinbaye, yeah?
I would say so. Yeah.
Right. Well, that's the thing with football. Luton have got Jack Wilshere. What do you think about this?
I think it's a very good appointment. I know I was listening to, I think it was Simon Jordan, Jack, on TalkSport. And was it Simon Jordan? No, it wasn't. It was on, I'll tell you what, it was on Sky, Tim Sherwood. And he was saying it was a little bit of I could see what he was saying. He said it was a bit of a strange appointment because they'd gone for Richie Wellens, who's at Orient. Yeah. And he's obviously managed at that level and down the leagues. Yeah, he said now they've gone and picked Jack Wilshere, who's got no experience. So I think they said that Orient wanted, I think, about $1 million compensation. So I like Jack Wilshere. I like how he speaks. I think he's a modern coach, Jack. I think it'll be interesting to see how he goes. I think it's a good club for him to get first up. But I think really, really important, they've appointed, I think Chris Powell's going to be his assistant.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's vital that he's somebody who knows what he's doing and he's been around. I think he was at Sheffield Wednesday when he last, Steve, with Danny Roll. So I think that's a great appointment. It'd just be interesting to see what happens at Luton, Jack, because obviously a couple of years ago, they were in the Premier League, weren't they? And then they've sort of back-to-back relegations.
So it's an interesting one because obviously he was at Luton's academy for a couple of years before he went to Arsenal.
He was 8 I think, when he was there.
Yeah, he was 8. So they're sort of heavily linking him like, oh well, he's a Luton boy. Well, he's not really. He was, he was 8 years old. Didn't really count.
He got his shirt. I think they've got his first shirt up, and I'm thinking we didn't actually play for you.
No, yeah, exactly. But I think it's a safe appointment for him because look, they'll have the biggest budget in League One, and it's better than going to a lower sort of Championship team, isn't it? Where there's going to be a lot more pressure on you. At least with Luton, if he turns it around, they get to the playoffs. I think they'll be all right. And I think their main issue this season, they've had a lot of injuries. So if he can sort of coax some players back and bring them back into fitness, I think they'll still be okay. I think they'll go up still.
He was at Norwich, Steve, was as a coach there, and I was surprised because he was in the running for the job. He wanted the job there, and they didn't appoint him. I wonder if they think now maybe we should have given Jack Wilshere a chance than picking Liam Manning.
Possibly, it might be probably better than Manning. Let's be honest.
Right, you two. Let's have a count of the scores then, Steve. How do we kick off after the international break?
So, as I said last week, we are Jack. You're in last place. You have been for a little while now, so sort yourself out. You're 8 points. 8 points. I'm on 11, and Rich, you're in the lead with 13.
Oh.
It all can change. It all can change.
It can in 6 games.
I got 13 right last week, but I just didn't put them down. All right. And I know there's only 12 games in a week, but that doesn't matter. I got 13 correct. It's fine. It's fine.
So before we talk about the predictions then, let's have a quick look at the table. So Coventry are leading the way at the minute with Middlesbrough in second. Leicester sitting third. Preston sitting fourth. Stoke fifth. QPR sixth is what makes the top 6 at the minute. Bottom 3, Oxford, Sheffield Wednesday and Sheffield United. How crucial are these fixtures going into November, Rich?
I was listening, I think, yesterday. I think it's one of the Championship podcasts, Jack, and they were saying after 9 games, this is the lowest points total that a team leading the division have had. I think they're on 19 at the Cov since 2019. Yeah. Because if you look at like a team like us, we've had a pretty slow start, I'd say. We're sitting in 9th at the minute, yet we're game in hand. We're 6 points off the top of the table. When, like I think we said last week when we were doing the show about when you and us, like we were up the top that last time, 2 years ago. I think you were on 24, 25 points at least, and we were flying out the blocks the first 10 or 11 games. So there's been a lot of draws, isn't there? There's been so many draws, and I think that's a trend that possibly might continue. I look at a team like Preston, Jack. They're doing really well. Have they got have they got the squad, to stay there? Injury suspensions come in. I think it's still going to be pretty nip and tuck, sort of, when we go to the final international break in. I think there was 6 games, isn't there, in this block of games? So it's all about being consistent. And just like yourselves, you haven't set the world alight, I don't think, sort of playing wise, but you've got results, haven't you? You've got results. I think you've got 1 defeat, and you're still picking up them points. It's like we've said several times on here. You might not play well in a game, but if you especially away from home, if you can get a point, win your home games, point away, you're going to have a decent season.
Does the job. What sort of analysis are you going to give regarding management, Steve? Obviously, there's a couple of managers under pressure in the Championship at the minute. Obviously, Liam Manning being one of them at Norwich. Do you think there'll be any manager changes, do you think, during this period of the games? Or do you think that will sort of run more into after the next international break?
I think the next 6 games are key for Will Still, Manning at Norwich. Maybe even is it Rosenior at Blackburn or is it Derby? He's one of the two, isn't he?
No, it is Vladimir Ishmael Blackburn.
Ishmael Blackburn.
Oh, Ishmael.
Rosenior's in France, isn't he?
Yeah, is it
Strasbourg? Yeah, Strasbourg.
Who's Derby's manager? I thought it was Rosenior.
John Eustace.
That's it, Eustace. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So Eustace, Manning, Will Still, possibly Parkinson at Wrexham as well if they don't pick up enough points. I don't see any change in Sheffield Wednesday or United. I think that will carry on as it is. But I think we are likely to see more changes going into the next international break than than we have done previously.
You think Sheffield United still be down there, Steve?
6 games. I mean, and they're not. I think that if they pick up a win at the weekend to boost some confidence, possibly, but they've been so poor in front of goal. Yeah. You know, Tom Cannon, I think, he's not scored a goal since he's scored one since signing for them. So they're not much of a threat up front. Gus Hamer hasn't started the season very well either. You know, so and O'Hare hasn't sort of lit the league up either. I think they won't be in the relegation zone, but you know, I think it all depends on, you know, what they pick up in the next couple of games, because they've got a winnable game at the weekend against Watford. You know, new manager for Watford, so it could be a bounce there. But yeah, realistically, I think we'll see more people potentially leaving at the next international break. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think Will Steele's under big pressure, to be fair. He's got to start winning games. Liam Manning, it's not really gone great for Norwich this season, has it? It's gone better from away from home than it has at home, to be fair. They're not winning at home. Blackburn, they're not winning either, are they? They are scoring goals, but they're not scoring enough. Todd Cantwell seems to be the man who seems to be on a mission for Blackburn. He's the man who's really scoring the goals for them. And without his goals, how many goals have they actually got in the team? Where you sort of look at their squad. Sheffield United, Chris Wilder, got to turn it round at some point. And then you look at the top of the table, Coventry. You know, they've got 6 winnable games, haven't they, coming up? I think they've got to play Blackburn. Sheffield United's coming up as well. So they are winnable games for Cov. Middlesbrough is going to be testing to see how they do against Ipswich on Friday night. But Leicester, again, tough games for Leicester, but it's games that we need to win, because it's a tricky period now where you're going to Saturday, Tuesday games, isn't it? So it's a big period for all teams, but this is where you're going to sort of look at the quality in squad now and the strength and depth of teams compared to other teams. Like you look at Leicester compared to what, say, Blackburn's got or someone like that. It's going to be crucial now to see if Leicester's quality can show in these type of games going forward. And I think the table changes a lot more.
Just really quickly, back to the management situation. Rich, question for you. Are you worried that, because the next, you know, the games in the Premier League are important for sure, but you've got Wolves at the bottom there, Burnley that are struggling, Forest, and I mean, Ange could go at any point at Forest, let's be honest. Brentford haven't started very well. Leeds, and then if Amarin leaves United and the Palace manager goes to United, do you see McKenna being at Ipswich come Christmas time?
Yeah, look, I think Wolves manager Steve he signed a new contract, didn't he? Not that long back. So
yeah, but I mean they're awful, aren't they? They're not great at all.
They've obviously been. I think the last 2 games they were winning, and then they drew. Burnley, Scott Parker. Look, I think they'll stick with him, because I think they know they're going to struggle. Forest is an interesting one when they've gone for Postecoglou because they wanted to change style. And now I'm hearing if he gets the boot, they're going to go for Sean Dyche, which is, you think, he's a good. I'm not saying he wouldn't do a good job there, but you've gone from Nuno, who's played quite defensive, I think, and I think that's being fair. I'm not. They played a style of football and it was very effective. And I think if you're gonna bring in Dyche for Postecoglou, I think obviously you're in trouble, and that says to me you need someone to come in. He's going to steady the ship, and he's going to just make sure you get to safety. I think we spoke on here before, Steve, a few weeks ago about Palace is the one for me.
Yeah.
I think Glasner's a very good manager. He's done a great job there, but I keep hearing, I don't know if he's that happy. There was talks
he's out of contract in the summer, isn't he? So, and he's not going to sign a new one. So I imagine, it's not going to take a lot to get him out of there, is it? But
United, are they going to pull the plug on Amarin? I don't think they will. I think they need... Clubs just can't keep sacking managers. That's as far as I'm concerned. You don't really get anywhere if you... But when you see that interview the other week, I think Jim Radcliffe said he needs 3 seasons, didn't he? He's not getting 3 years, is he, if he don't perform? No. That's not happening. And we know you can say... That's easy to say for me. That's you say, oh, yeah, he needs 3 years, but... If he has another season like he did last season, they might improve a little. I think they've improved a little bit. I don't think they're as bad as they were, but Palace is the one. Maybe Brentford, possibly. But I think when they appointed Keith Andrews, Steve, they knew that was probably a little bit of a risk. So I think he'll probably get the time. But we all know in football, time stands still for nobody. It's like you say about Manning, Jack, at Norwich. I think this is probably the crucial games now because it goes into that next break, doesn't it, in November. And that's the time, I think, now, unless you're Watford, unless you're Watford and you sack a manager whenever you think that he's not doing a great job. I think with him, was there a rumour, Jack, that there was an agent linked with some players that he wasn't picking, and it had something to do with possibly why they pulled the plug on him? But it's a football management. Somewhere along the line, you're going to get the sack. And I see Rangers were linked with McKenna, Steve. He sort of soon squashed that one.
They're going to be a warm mate, aren't they? Muscat.
Yeah, Muscat, yeah.
Obviously. Is that fucking Muscat? Is that Muscat? Have a look, Paddy. Let's have a look at your head, Paddy. What a great video that is when he's sitting in the dressing room, isn't he, at Millwall, and he's got a massive... Paddy Kenny's got a massive lump on his head if no one's seen it. Go and watch it. It's great. And then they lose that game, don't they, Jack? And he's on the pitch at the end. I think Phil Jagielka goes in goal, Steve, in that game.
I
think it's Jody Morris who's playing for Millwall. He comes to shake Warnock's hand. He says, "That's a Muscat, that is, Jody. That's fucking. It's just classic." I mean, Neil Warnock never managed Town. There's always a little bit. I think with every team, wherever he went, he'd have a bit of banter and he'd get some stick. I thought he was a great manager. I think in the game now, you ain't got the characters that you used to have.
This is
agreed.
All the old managers. They were the personalities of football.
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, Tony Pulis with fighting. Who was a striker? James Beattie had a fight with him in the Stoke change room, didn't he? We were both naked in the showers. You don't get that anymore.
Nigel Pearson.
Oh, my favourite one is the Ian Holloway story where he came in for pre-season and he said to the lads, "Right, off you go. You guys, there's a 3-mile track and then it's 3 miles back. I'm giving you a head start, but if I catch you, you owe me money and you're being dropped." I'm going to cough them. And the story is that they all were running to this post and there was a big defender, this big unit that couldn't run very far. And he got to the post and turned around. Obviously, you could see Holloway catching up and being like, "I'm going to get you. You hurry up, guys, because if I catch you, you're done for." And this defender got to the post, turned around, and just fell into a load of bushes to hide from him. And Holloway just casually runs past and goes, I can't remember the defender's name. He's like, "That's £100. I'll see you tomorrow." And off he went again.
Did he manage Leicester in Holloway?
Yeah.
Very good.
Unfortunate, really. I think he was given the poison chalice at Leicester because he was one that we got relegated with in the end. But actually, we'd had 4 different managers that season. He was just the last one through the door.
Was it 4? Was it more?
I know we had a couple of caretakers. We started off with Megson, didn't we? And then
we had Martin Allen, didn't we? Gary Megson.
Yeah.
Gary Megson. Wow.
Yeah. He left us for Bolton, didn't he, Gary Megson?
Yeah, he did. He only lasted weeks in the job. He sort of made a joke about it in the press conference, didn't he, when he signed? He said, "I'm only going to be here, was it 6 weeks?" And then he didn't last that long. And then Bolton come calling. And then did he take Mark Davies to Bolton as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. And his first game were Forest in the Cup. And, Forest fans didn't like him either, Gary Megson. And, and that's how Leicester were back then, Rich, to be fair. Changing managers. Milan Mandaric, the late Milan Mandaric, should we say. Rest in peace to him. He was very open on managers, if they weren't doing what they were doing, he'd just get rid of them straight away, to be fair. He weren't bothered. But Ian Holloway, he was doing well at Plymouth at the time. He was just a good manager for the wrong job at the time at Leicester, I think. And that's obviously where it went.
He's still going, isn't he? He's the manager of Swindon now, Jack. He's doing a good job there.
Yeah.
I think they're up the top of League 2, aren't they?
He loves it down there. It's only 5 minutes from his house, so he's well happy. He is. He's lived down in Swindon for a long time, as Holloway.
Crazy. Right, boys. Week 10 of the predictions then. We've got 2 shows of this week, haven't we? Is it Sunday 8:30? The next one, week 11. So actually, we've got 3 shows, haven't we, this week? Three shows over the next week. Week 12's coming up as well next Thursday. But yeah, we're going to start Friday night football. The Riverside, 2nd versus 9th, Middlesbrough, Ipswich. I'm going to come with Rich first on this one. Middlesbrough haven't scored in their last 2 matches. They're ranked 3rd at home this season. Ipswich have scored 13 goals in their last 5 games, by the way. How do you think this one goes, Rich, at the Riverside? Obviously, Ipswich haven't got the greatest of record at Middlesbrough. So how do you reckon this will go for the boys in blue?
Anyway, just like to say thanks to Sky for putting it on a Friday night at 8 p.m. I'm really looking forward to the trip. I'm looking forward to the trip up. I'm not exactly looking forward to the trip home. I reckon I'll probably be home about 3 in the morning. Look, if we come back with 3 points, Jack, I don't really care what time I get home. But look, I think we all know on here and people watching, Sky don't really give a toss about the fans who actually go to games. You know, I think that's probably obvious. They lost last time out, didn't they, Jack? 1-0 to Portsmouth.
Portsmouth, yeah.
First defeat of the season. I think maybe the break probably come at a good time for Borough. You know,
yeah, I agree.
I think in the last 5, they've drawn 3, 1-1, and then they obviously lost last time out. Whereas we've started to pick up a bit of form, Jack. You know,
You're not unbeaten in 5.
Yeah, so I think we won 3 and drawn 1. We won't talk about the Blackburn game. We'll get on to Blackburn in a little bit, Jack. When we come to the Blackburn prediction, we'll have a little chat about their ground.
That would have happened if that Blackburn game would have counted.
Yeah, we'll talk about Trevor Wilkin when we come to Blackburn. No, if you don't know Trevor Wilkin, he's the Blackburn groundsman, but we'll come on to him later. Didn't think he'd get a shout on here, did he? He didn't think anyone would be talking about the Blackburn groundsman.
Keep out ready, Steve.
Unbelievable. But yeah, with us, it's one where we probably would have benefited with another game, probably in the midweek after beating Norwich.
Yeah.
But look, it's a tough place to go. I see Rob Edwards saying it's going to be a good atmosphere. I think we've sold out our away end, which is brilliant for a Friday night. It's going to be a big crowd, big game. I think I tweeted earlier, I think this game could be won in the midfield. So we got Jens Kajust and Matasiru. Yeah. Borough have got Aidan Morris, which he's been playing for the States. I think he played in Colorado, and that was on Wednesday. So a couple of Borough fans have tweeted me saying they don't think he might not play because obviously with jet lag and whatever. So Alan Brown might come in, which I think would be good for us. Obviously Hayden Hackney, Jack, who he was at the town training ground. He'd had a look round. We'd agreed the fee. And look, he wanted a Premier League move. So fair enough. Look, I've got nothing against him. You know, I think he's a really good footballer.
You will if he scores the winner on Friday.
Yeah, but that's football, you know. He's a Borough lad. And it's obviously that move in August, it's a massive career move for him. So he's a young lad. And I sort of admire that. If you don't think it's the right move, you know, obviously he'd have probably got more money, whatever. But moving from Middlesbrough to Ipswich, it's bloody hell, you're moving from one end of the country to the other, Jack. So it has to be right for him.
That's it.
That's a move for me that if we're up there in January or if we got promoted and he's still at Borough, I think that could still happen.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not ruling it out. But I think tomorrow night, I think it's time that we lay down a marker, as we haven't won away yet, and we haven't really played well away from home. You know, last time away, Bristol City, we scraped a draw. The Blackburn game was rained off. We're losing.
Yeah.
Drew obviously at Birmingham earlier in the season with that penalty in stoppage time. Lost to Preston. So we ain't got going away. So we're playing really well at home, but we need to get that result on the road. I don't agree with you, Robert. I can't back against my own team tomorrow night. I'm going to go for a town win. I know what Steve's going to go for already. I've not read his homework, but I'm pretty sure he'll go 1-1. I think he'll go 1-0. But I'm going to go 2-1 town because I think this is a time, if we can win that game, especially with everyone else obviously playing on the Saturday, we get a march. We get an extra day's rest because obviously we play in the midweek on the Tuesday. So I know they'll be back late on Saturday, but they're travelling in style, aren't they? They're not having to bloody slum it in a car for bloody 5 or 6 hours on the motorway on a Friday night when what roads are closed, Steve, tomorrow night? Any idea? Anywhere out that way? Because there'll be some. There'll be some diversions when we come back.
I think you're okay. The A1's open, so you should be all right.
Well,
I've not seen any planned maintenance on those because I drive them all the time. So I think you'll be okay.
That's all right then. Yeah, 2-1 Town.
2-1 Town. Steve.
I have gone for a draw, but it's not a 1-1. It's a 2-2.
Oh, big game.
I've gone for a 2-2 draw. I think that obviously, you guys, you want to make a marker now this season. I think you're getting to the point now where 10 games in, you need to set your stamp down and say this is our league for the taking. Fuck Coventry, fuck Leicester, fuck Middlesbrough.
Look at this comment from Armchair Jockey. More chance of another waterlogged pitch than Town win. Unbelievable.
And spurred on from the defeat they had last week, I think Middlesbrough will be right up for this because I think you're right, Rich. The international break has come at a good time for them. So I've gone for a 2-2 draw. I'm going to say, Rich, I think you'll probably go 2-0 up and then Borough peg you back.
Oh, wow.
Make it even sadder. It'll be like an 89th minute draw.
See, I wouldn't be unhappy with a draw because I think it's a hard place to go, but not in that way, please. If it is.
Right. I think Casey McAteer gets his first goal for Town. There you go.
Interesting. I mean, he hasn't really set the world alight yet, has he, Rich, for the money he paid?
Not really. I think that's being quite kind.
Is it?
Yeah.
He's been shit.
I'm not exactly going to say.
It's been not bad for you as if £12 million.
He's not been bad, but for when you're shelling out that kind of money, I expect a little bit more than someone playing on the right who can't beat his fullback, passes it back to his fullback a lot, works hard. Don't get me wrong. I think he works really hard defensively. I think he does some really good work, but I'm not spending 12 million on a wide player to be able to track back and tackle.
There was a reason why when that fee came out, we were going, fucking hell, how did we get that? Because we had your pants down, honestly. He's not worth £12 million.
Just like we had Sheffield United's pants down with Tom Cannon. Sorry, Blades fans. Right, I'm going to go Middlesbrough 1, Ipswich 2. I'm going to back the Tracks boys for an away win, first of the season. Robert's gone 2-1 to Borough. Dawn's gone 2-1 Ipswich. Armchair's got 1-0. I just can't see it being a 1-0 game. It's just Friday night football. You never really get many goals in them, do you? To be fair, you look at last time Borough played against West Brom. There wasn't much in it, to be fair. And I think this is the type of game you'll see again. It'd be like a Middlesbrough West Brom sort of replay type of game. But Ipswich's quality in the team, they've got to sort of use that to advantage. You've got your Jack Clark, you've got Smodics in there, you've got Jacob Greaves. Your midfield's quite good as well. So I think that's how you got to utilise it, Rich, to be fair. Because Middlesbrough at home, they are quite good, aren't they? This is where they picked up probably most of the points. But that defeat to Portsmouth before the international break is going to hurt them massively, to be fair, with how the world have started. Nicky's gone 0-0. I tell you what, I'll turn my telly off.
Wow, I'm travelling all that way for a 0-0, Nicky. Jeez, thanks for that. Christ.
Richard, like the bloody A1 shot if it's 0-0 or
Jesus. You're right though. You are right that the quality that we've got in the squad, you'd hope like through the season, you'd hope that would obviously because like McKenna's like he always utilises his subs quite well as well, and I think all them people like Jack Clark, he don't really start Jack. He comes on 60, 65 minutes, but I think as a player, like you've got to get your head round that you've still got obviously a big role to play in the game. You're probably disappointed that you don't start, but I think you've got just as an important role coming on at 60, 65 minutes and making an impact on the game and helping finish the game.
Rich, do you think that's been the problem with you lot this season? Everyone's sort of worked out McKenna now of how he actually plays. I mean, before they weren't really sure, was they, how Ipswich going to play from the Championship, and then he never changed it in the Prem, did he? He'd still stick with the same style. Do you think teams have sort of found it out and thinking, you know what, this is how we need to really play against Ipswich because we know we can actually get chances and goals against them?
Yeah. Yeah, if I look back on the Norwich game, I thought for 25 minutes they really pressed us well and pressed us high. You know, we always try and play out from the back. You know, that's not any secret. No. And at the minute, we ain't that good at doing it. We used to have Sam Morsey, Jack, in there. He'd always be that little pivot who is sitting just in front of the box, and you could play the ball to him. He'd be under pressure. 9 times out of 10, he could spin away. You get away, you're up the pitch, you know, and the pitch opens up. But that's how I'd play against us. I know you're taking a little bit of a risk because if we do manage to play out and break that press, that's when I think we're very dangerous. But I think you could sit off us and let us have the ball. Maybe sometimes we're not very good at breaking down that. It's called low blocking it now. I'll just call it defensive football, parking the bus. But I think if you're a better team, you know, with better players, I think you take a little bit of a gamble and try and press us into making a mistake. Because I think we have got a mistake playing out from the back. If you look at that Norwich game, I think O'Shea, the captain, the first 3 passes, Jack, he gave away, trying to play out. And you're thinking, sometimes, I just think that's modern football, you know. Sometimes for me, I would think, right, you're starting the game here. You try to play out, I know that. But sometimes just mix it up a little bit. Go a little bit longer up to Hurst at the top. But we don't seem to do that. We don't want to do that. And I get why you don't want to do that, because if you pop it long, you probably could lose the ball. You know, you're giving up possession, because football's all about possession now, isn't it? It is. It's like you want to have that ball. But we see a lot of times when the possession stats come out in the game, it don't mean you're going to win the football match, does it? Because a lot of times you'll see teams not have a lot of possession, but when they get them chances, they're ruthless. So I don't think McKenna's been found out in a way of his football. And you could say he just maybe needs to adapt a little bit and have a little bit of a different style. But I admire him because he sticks to his beliefs. And when he came in as a football club, Jack, we had no identity. We had no identity for years, you know, style of play. I wouldn't be able to tell you under certain. Mick McCarthy, I would, because pretty gritty sort of football. But he was a good manager at that level, you know. Whatever happened with McCarthy at Town at the end, when he was telling us to piss off at Norwich, sticking his fingers up, and he claims he wasn't, when I'm still thinking you were, because we're in that direction, Mick, when you were saying it.
When I walked away, was it actually Norwich?
There was Norwich when we scored. Luke Chambers scored in the 90th minute to put us 1-0 up, and he's basically told us to fuck off. Hang on, we're winning 1-0, and then they went and equalised. Then they equalised in the 96th minute, and I thought, look, when you get that breakdown with manager criticising supporters, I think there's only one way it ends. But it's interesting. I don't know what you think, Steve, about managers just going off tangent a little bit. When Thomas Tuchel came out and he criticised the crowd at Wembley, didn't he?
I sort of get it, like, you know, but my issue with the Tuchel one is that England play at Wembley all the time because it's the cash cow for the FA. It's never been good for an atmosphere. If you want an atmosphere, you go to Villa Park, or you know, you travel around the country like it's a circus, because then the circus comes to town, people get excited, and there'll be a better atmosphere. So look, I don't agree with what Tuchel said, but look, you know, he's entitled to it as the manager. And I think if we were to be called out, and we have been called out in the past as Leicester fans in regards to atmosphere and how we react, you know, if we're entitled and whatever, I think there is an extent of that's okay. They're the manager of the club. They're being paid to promote a healthy atmosphere around. And if the fans aren't backing it, it's only going to go one way, unfortunately. But look, you know, it's usually the last thing a manager does before he gets sacked, isn't it? Have a go at the fans, say, you know, back the players a bit more, and then week after, when they lose again, they're out the door. So, you know, but Tuchel has one job, and that's to win the World Cup. I couldn't give a shit what he does in this meantime. He could run over my dead grandma again if he wanted to. I wouldn't care. If he wins the World Cup, that's all I care about. And even then, I don't care as much as Leicester winning a trophy, but still, you know.
Right. Let's go on
that's another conversation, isn't it? Club and country.
Yeah. Oxford taking on Derby at the Kazan. 22nd versus 20th. Oxford sit on 6 points. Derby have got 8 points. Both sides have not really started off well at all, have they? How do you think this one goes, Steve, at the Kazan? What you got?
I think this is the first proper 6 pointer of the season. 9 games in, they're both down there. They both need the points to push up the table. I think it'll be a cagey game because they don't want to lose it. But Oxford being at home would be an advantage. We've been there. They are tough to beat at home to an extent. It helps if you don't go down to 10 men, but that's just the Leicester way. But I think it will be, and this is going to be a theme throughout the night for me. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw.
Oh, Rich?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a cagey game.
Yeah, I see a stat about Derby, Jack. I think they've had five draws in the first 9. Is it?
Let me have a look.
I think 5 draws in the 9, and I think they've drawn 8 out of their last 15 games in the Championship. I think that was a stat I'd heard somewhere.
Well, they've had 3 consecutive 1-1.
Yeah, so I think as a Derby, if I was a Derby fan, I'd think I'd expect a little bit more this season.
Of course.
Because they've spent a bit of money. I know you've bought probably half of Blackburn, and it's not exactly they're not exactly setting the world alight.
Nick is not a fan of Derby,
but when they come to Ipswich, it was 2-2, and we nicked a point right at the end with a penalty. I thought they set up really well. It's a big game this early, really. I think if you're Gary Rowett, Oxford are going to be up against it this season. I think they've obviously not got the budget. I never like going to Oxford with them free stands. I always find it a little bit of a strange atmosphere. With a ground with an open end. This is like a massive car park. But I think they've done really well to get to this level. I think it might be a season too far for them, Jack. They done well last season. Rowett come in and kept them up. But I think it's if they finish 4th bottom, Oxford, and stay up, I think it's been a great season for them. I think this is a game. There's not going to be a lot in it. I think it's going to be pretty tight, and I think Derby might just edge it. I'll go 2-1 Derby.
Well, last time the last 2 these two have played against each other have been 0-0 at Pride Park and 1-1. Last time they obviously played at the Kazam. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw.
Oh, I've got copping us both tonight, Rich.
Well,
This is why he's sitting bottom. He needs to change his strategy up, Steve. Really.
Last time I went for draws, I sort of got the draws, so I was quite happy with them.
Hang on, did you? You got 1 last week.
Not like the one before that.
You got none before that.
Oh.
You got 2 before that, and then 1 before that. So you're not doing great, Jack. Not doing great.
Well, no need to criticise. You worry about
I'm getting a moment for you calling me out on Twitter for randomly saying, look, Steve's 35, so,
Right. Loftus Road. This one, 12:30. This one's a tasty one, to be fair. QPR Millwall. How do you think this one goes, Rich?
Well, I think the police will be out in force, won't they? In London on Saturday lunchtime. This is going to be lively, Jack. And I'm talking about off the pitch. I think it'll be pretty lively off the pitch. I think it'll be pretty lively on the pitch. They've done really well, haven't they, QPR? I say it every time.
They're sick.
The 7-1, I think, in a way, was probably a good thing for them. New manager came in. He obviously no one wants to get walloped 7, but I think you just got to look at the run that they've been on, Jack, since that defeat. I don't think they've lost the game.
They're unbeaten in the last 5.
Millwall are one of these teams. They're going to sit around, I think, 8th, 10th all season. Are they good enough? Are they good enough to make that little extra push to get in the playoffs? Maybe. If the division stays as it is, and as tight as it is, I think there could be a couple of surprises in the playoffs. And if there's a lot of draws, I'm going to go for a draw in this game. I'm going to go for 1-1.
Steve?
I've also go for 1-1 in this one. I think it'll be another scrappy game. You're right. There will be some tempers, but to be honest, did you feel last week with the week before last with the Norwich game? Did you feel any sort of animosity or anger? Because I don't think derbies are the same anymore. No. I just don't feel they have that energy.
that's a real good point you make. I was talking to a couple of my mates saying, like, it's like Nunes, Steve. You know, he'd obviously made the move from Norwich, and you see all their fans online saying someone's going to stick one on him, kick him up in the air. Basically, he's come on the pitch. No one's laid a glove on him. No one's gone near him. And I mean, you're losing that game. Norwich are losing the game in the second half. At least show a bit. Go down. Someone take one for the team. You know, I'll just stick one on him. But as a derby, I think there was there 2 bookings in the game, and I think one of them might have been for dissent. There was no tackling. There was no tackling. This is your modern day football. You know, derbies, they're not like they used to be. You know, they might be in the stands, you know, passionate, but on the pitch, I think sometimes, Steve, in a local derby, it never helps when it's an early kickoff.
True.
I think that doesn't help atmosphere. But yeah, this is just modern football. You know, tackling is literally it's nearly gone out the game.
Yeah, I often find like also with like the fans, because it's there's a lot of younger people going now. You know, back in the day when my dad used to go, and he was 60s, 70s, and 80s for Leicester. He was part of the firm as such, and they were fighting. Nowadays, I just don't think the younger people want to fight. They just want to go watch football and leave again. So that sort of poison isn't there anymore. It's all online rather than actually in the stands. So
there you go. It's all online. People giving it a big one, and they get to the game, and just everyone just sort of fades away, don't they? Exactly.
Yeah. But sorry, Jack, I went for a 1-1 draw. I think it would be a fine game. But yeah, 12:30 on a Saturday I don't like 12:30 kickoffs at the best of times.
Right. I've got a home win. Is he all right?
Yeah, he's fine. He's coughing.
Yeah, I'm just sneezing. I thought spells are up. Sorry.
Sorry, I didn't want to sneeze and snot everywhere. That was me.
I don't think anyone else wants to see that either. But yeah, 2-1 QPR.
Oh.
I'm going to back QPR. I think they'll do all right at home. I think pre-season weren't really great from leading up obviously to the Coventry game as well. But after the Coventry battering the total, they're bloody winning games, aren't they? You know, and they're playing some good stuff. Next one, St Mary's, a side that isn't really playing well, are they, at the minute? Southampton. They take on Swansea in the head-to-head in this one. Swansea sit 12th. Southampton sit 17th. Southampton haven't lost to Swansea in their last 7 meetings, winning 6, drawing 1. Southampton haven't kept a clean sheet in the last 5. Swansea haven't kept a clean sheet in their last 6. Both teams, I think, will score in this. I've got Southampton winning 2-1.
I've gone for a 2-0 Southampton win. I'm going to be honest with you, Swansea are shit. They were awful when we played them last. Defensive football, didn't really sort of lay a glove on us all that much. I think Southampton I think they will slowly get back into the swing of things now that we've 6 more games, as we said. I think we'll still this international break has come at a good time for him as well, hasn't it, really? Especially if you see where they are on the table. 17th, 2 draws and a win in the last 3 games is better than what it was. So yeah, I've gone for a Southampton 2-0 home win.
Rich?
Yeah, look, the Southampton, Steve, you say they've got 2 draws and a win. If they can turn them draws into wins, the table's so tight at the minute. You win a couple on the bounce and they're going to shoot right up the league. And I think it's a big game. It's a big game for Will Steele, Jack. I think you're playing Swansea at home. If you're a Southampton fan, you go into that game, you're going to expect to win. Because they've not won since they beat Wrexham on the first day of the season. They've not won. He's a new manager. I see Ross Stewart's injured, Steve. He's out. It's going to be months, not weeks, which is unfortunate for him. He came back and he got them 2 goals at Sheffield United. So that's a blow for them. I'm going to go with you, Jack. I think it's going to be a 2-1 Southampton win. I think it's a must-win for Southampton at home.
It is.
Yeah, I agree.
Winning games. He's got to start winning games. He's got to start winning games very soon.
Yep. Let's have a look what the comments saying. Robert's gone 2-1. Nicky's gone 1-1. Swansea 1-0 says Armchair. I mean, Armchair's very optimistic in some of these results. Next one, St Andrews. Birmingham City are not bloody freely scoring, are they? Steve, going into this one, you look at their last results, 1-1 with Wrexham, 2-2 with Sheffield Wednesday, 3-0 defeat to Coventry, 1-0 win against Swansea, 1-0 defeat to Stoke. Hull I mean, Ollie McBurney's just won the Player of the Month for the Championship, hasn't he? So I think he'll be on song this one. 15th, Hull, 16th, Birmingham. How do you think this one's going to go at St Andrews?
So Hull, they score goals, but they also concede goals. So I think they'll both score in this game. I actually think Hull will just edge it 2-1. Birmingham, yeah, look, a couple of draws and a win in the last 4 games. I feel that the longer that it goes on for them, and if they carry on as they are, I could see them moving away from literally just blanked on the name, former Leicester coach of the manager.
Chris Davis.
Chris Davis, that's one. I'll be honest with you, he's a bit beige, so he's fine to ignore him or forget who he is at times. But yeah, I just think that I think Hull are in a good vein of form now. A good win against Sheffield United. I say a good win though. Wasn't it? Didn't they score? It was 30th minute, yeah. But they got a bit battered against Sheffield United. But overall, yeah, 2-1 win for Hull against Birmingham.
Rich?
Well, I put it on the WhatsApp group last night. Did you see the Birmingham? Was it Chairman Wagner coming out with they want a 62,000 stadium? He thinks they can fill it every week. I mean, that's a bold statement, for a team who couldn't fill their ground for seasons. I know Birmingham, look, second city, big club, but you're getting a little bit carried away. I get building a stadium in the Midlands. I get that because we just spoke there about England, and Wembley, and making your way to Wembley on a midweek is an absolute ball ache of a journey, So having a stadium in the Midlands, 62,000, I think that's a really good idea. On the other hand, filling it, Birmingham have got to be a Premier League team, Jack, to be filling the stadium, and they've got to be a decent Premier League team.
You've got to be a Man City to fill that stadium.
I think they've got to be European chasing to fill the stadium, to be honest. Yeah. I can't see them being sort of Everton 15th, 16th and being able to fill it. That's for sure.
They're not going to be a Newcastle either, let's be fair.
No.
One thing is, and you say about Chris Davis, I think he's done a good job there to a point.
I struggled to adapt to the league higher.
Yeah, League One. Look, they were record points. Yeah, record points total. Highest points ever in League One. Brilliant. And they were scoring a lot of goals. They're struggling, Jack, to create chances. In this division, it's
possession again. And they're not doing that with it. And
obviously Stansfield's their main man. He's finding it tough. And I think in the end, Davis won't last. He won't last the course. They'll move on to probably a bigger name. They obviously won't go back to Wayne Rooney because that obviously didn't work last time. But I see Birmingham. If you wanted to get in the Premier League, they'll go for a big name. And I think they'll have that draw, with Tom Brady. But I think this season, Jack, for me, I think they're going to be about mid-table. I think I might have had them even in the playoffs. But from what I've seen so far, I don't think they've set the world alight. I've seen when they played against you. Yeah. Lay a glove on you. They played decent. They played decent against us, but that was first game of the season. The crowd were really up for it, and it was always going to be like that. But I think Hull, they're doing well. McBurney's doing well. They're scoring goals. I see this as another draw. I think they'll cancel each other out and they'll go 1-0.
Are a bit torn between this one, to be fair. I sort of thought at first Hull would probably win this with Ollie McBurney being a massive threat for them. But then I think Birmingham at home, they're unbeaten. Is it 29 games in all competition? Is it unbeaten in the league?
Yeah, they're unbeaten in the league, aren't they? I think they lost in the League Cup, didn't they, at home?
Yeah.
Knocked them out.
Port Vale, were it?
Yeah, could be Port Vale.
So they're unbeaten in the league. So if they get a point out of this game or even 3, they'd be 30 games unbeaten. So I'm going for a 1-1 draw. 2-0 Hull. 2-0 Hull. Yeah, Ollie McBurney's a bloody massive threat in there. We've got to play him next week. Next one, the Valley. Charlton taking on Sheffield Wednesday. There's been a wind up order, hasn't there, of Sheffield Wednesday of £1 million by HMRC. Rich, this man Shanziri could liquidation be on the cards, or will they make him sell the club? Is another thing, because the players and that have been paid now, but more things keep going on at Sheffield Wednesday. The weather storm just doesn't seem to be going away at Hillsborough.
Well, you said they've played the players. I think that 4 out of the last 5 times they've been late, and they paying their staff. It's just one thing after another, isn't it? With the Owls, as a fan, they're going to have a points deduction coming somewhere. Jack, I would have thought, that's on the way. On the pitch, I think they've done quite well. I think they've done as well as they can. Obviously, got a small squad. Charlton have done really well. They've done well under Nathan Jones. He's a decent manager. He's one of them. We spoke about him before. He's one of them managers. I think if he's your manager, you'll love him. If he's your opposition, you think he's a bit of a knob, isn't he? Sometimes, but I think Charlton at home with their. Did you see their new screen that they've got? They've got a new screen being unveiled. Doesn't look very
half the screen.
Yes, half the screen. Where is the other half, Steve? Are they actually going to build that? It was like when I see it, I thought. But then again, we've got a screen. It's not the biggest screen you've ever seen. It's all right, but that screen at Charlton. I mean, blimey, what are you doing? It's just baffling. But home advantage here. I'm going to go for I'll go for a 2-0 home win.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to back Rich 2-0.
Oh, it's a triple. It's a hat trick. 2-0 home win. Yeah,
lovely. Even Robert's gone with it as well. 2-0. Dawn in the armchair's gone 1-0. Nicky's gone 2-1. Charlton. So yeah, on to the next one then. The league leaders, shall we say, Coventry City. They take on Blackburn Rovers in this one. Blackburn, people write them off for nil sometimes, but they still managed to get a goal. Tom Cantwell, like I said, the main man going into this one. Coventry, though, they're absolutely bloody storming it. I think they've got plus 20 in goal difference. And Frank Lampard's playing some good football with the squad that he's got, isn't he? They've got a good 11. I'm not quite sure about the bench, to be fair. I think they need a lot more quality on the bench. Because the squad's it's quite thin, in it. The squad with Cov, it only takes a few injuries, then they start sort of falling away a bit. But I think they'll come on strong contenders in this one for me. Coventry being at home, 3-0.
I've also gone 3-0. I think the steamroll continues, and they'll carry on. 3-0 Coventry.
6-1.
Wow.
Rich, do you want the second one?
Right. So, firstly, we need to talk about Trevor Wilkin.
Go on, actually. Yeah,
so,
this week.
obviously, it was a slow news week in Blackburn, because now they're putting content out on their YouTube channel, and they're interviewing the groundsman.
Right.
I mean, blimey. It's had quite a few views on the Blackburn YouTube channel. If you've not seen it, he's got a likeness for Alan Shearer. He looks like an old Alan Shearer. He's been there for 44 years, Jack. And obviously they put this video out because the pitch, this is the main topic of conversation. And I think they were saying the pitch they've had at Ewood Park, Steve, I think that pitch is about 36 years old. So
it wouldn't surprise me.
It's an old surface, and he was talking about people said it was about because the river was, it wasn't the river. It was just basically that day. And I don't think you have to be a groundsman to work it out. It was the amount of rain that they had. I think he said they had 77 mil of rain that day. And it literally, it couldn't cope with it. And then they played Stoke at home, I think a couple of weeks back, and it had rained a lot then. But he said they were lucky for that game because it stopped during the game. Whereas our game, it was lashing down. And he also said about people saying about Burnley's game, they still played. But I think it was different weather patterns a little bit. It was stopped during the game. So
Didn't they say there was going to pour a few more holes in the pitch?
Yeah, he's got some aerator thing. And what did he say? He came out with some phrase about the boat has sailed or something. I thought it was rather apt, with the amount of water that we had that day. But I think we now need to draw a line under this until December the 2nd when we play them, and we can rehash everything then. But getting back to this game, it's a nailed on home win. I think it's a sellout, Jack, for Coventry.
Yeah.
You know, they're selling out. I'm going to go a little bit different than you. I'm going to go for a 2-0.
Oh.
Okay.
Rich, I'm going to come to you with this one. Carrow Road. Norwich haven't won a time, have they? Last time they played at home, they played West Brom and lost. They did have chances, though, didn't they? But the West Brom keeper said, no, we're not scoring today. But Norwich haven't really done much, have they? At home, Liam Manning under big pressure. 3 defeats in the last 5, 2 draws. They sit 19th. Haven't won a match in the last 5 games. Haven't kept a clean sheet in the last 5. But Bristol City going into this game have scored 6 in the last 5. Ranked third away from home this season. Bristol City have won the previous 2 matches against the Canaries. How do you think this one goes against Bristol City?
It's not a happy camp. It's not a happy camp. They had a supporters forum, I think, last night. They're doing some stadium work. They're moving. Have you both been there? You both been to Norwich, guys?
Yeah.
No, it'll be my first time. A couple of weeks we go Norwich, so it'll be first time.
They're moving the away fans, Steve. That'll be the last time will be the first time for you, where you sit on the side. You'll be going to the other end, down the other end now, behind the goal, because they're going to be building a fan zone. I think they had a fans forum last night, and I don't think it was. Don't think they were very popular. Some decisions they've made. I think they're moving people's season tickets who've sat there like for years, and I think a lot of it. Yeah, we'll go with that, Eric. I'll come to you in a minute. They've moved people's season tickets, Steve, without notifying them. And I think the first they've heard of it is on the socials that they're building a fan zone. So that's not gone down very well, you know. And if you're doing well on the pitch, some of this gets sort of swept under the carpet. Obviously, at the minute, they're not doing very well. They've lost their 16-year record, Jack, that they had against us, so they can't really sing about that anymore. And Manning is under massive, massive pressure. And it's really interesting now, isn't it? Your first game back after the derby is you're playing your former club, Bristol City. So I hope Norwich lose. Obviously, I'm a town fan. I want them to keep losing. But it's a double-edged sword for me, because I'm going to go for a win on here. So if they win and I get the correct score, I'm happy, because I get a point. Yeah. If they lose, I'm happy. So I'm going to go. I think it's going to be their first home win of the season. I think it's a must-win game for Manning. You cannot keep losing games. You cannot keep losing games at home, Jack. They've lost all 5 this season. First time in their history. So I think it has to turn sooner or later, and I think it'll turn on Saturday. It might not be a great performance. I think it'll be 2-1 Norwich.
2-1 Norwich. Neil says, Rich, Manning on a 4-year contract won't get sacked.
Well, Ben Napper's obviously put his neck on the line, because he picked the last manager, then sacked him after a season. But a 4-year contract, look, our contracts, they're not really worth anything, are they, Steve? You know, it's just on paper, isn't it? If you keep losing games, it only ends one way. You can't keep going, because if they lose, if they have a couple of 3 bad results in these next 3 games, Jack, or in this block, they're going to be in the bottom 3. They're going to be struggling. They need wins.
I agree. I've got Bristol City winning 2-1.
I'd say that now. I'll be happy for you to get a point.
So I've got in the middle of you guys. I think it is a must-win game for Norwich, so I've gone for a 1-0 draw.
Oh, interesting.
There you go.
And there's the spoiler.
They'll be booed off.
Right, next one then. Sheffield United versus newly managed Watford. How do you think this one goes, Steve? Because Sheffield United, they've really struggled, haven't they? They are bottom of the table with 3 points. Watford have got 12 points going into this. Sheffield United have won their previous 3 games against them. Watford haven't kept a clean sheet in 10 games. But new manager bounce for Watford, do you reckon? Or will Sheffield United come out on top and blade through them and win the game?
I still think it's crazy that Sheffield United have the same amount of goals as they have points, and that being 3 points after 9 games. Like,
That's dreadful.
if you'd have said that to me at the beginning of the season, I'd be like, not a chance in hell would they be bottom after 9 games with 3 goals scored. I think this would be a decent game. I've actually gone for another 1-1 draw. I think that Watford with a new manager bounce, even though they won the last game, it was a weird one, wasn't it? Because they won 2 and drew 1. And yet they sacked the manager because nobody really liked them. So, here we go. Bugger off, Locks. Go play clubs on your own, you loser. I've gone for a 1-1 draw.
Should boo him off. Yeah, you deserve that, you bloody snake. Yeah, you
can't score without us.
You can see why no one wants to play for your club, mate. You're pushing us out of the club, mate. You know what I mean? I would rather go and do other things, right? Sheffield United versus...
Jack, I find it really funny that Richard, you're just there like, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
I know who Locks is. I've been on his channel before.
Yeah, we have a pro clubs team on FIFA, basically.
Richard,
there you go. Look, he says he's here for me.
That's all right. Well, someone's a funny, Rich. I don't know. Sheffield United 1-0. I'm going to go Sheffield United 1, Watford 0. Rich, over to you, mate.
I think in the week there was one of the. I think he was on the board or something. Sheffield United had been on the local radio. They basically admitted that they made a mistake sacking Wilder last time. I think if you look at Sheffield United last season, guys, I mean, they were unlucky in that playoff final. They were the better team for 75 minutes, and they've lost that game. And they had a bad spell around Easter when they lost 3 games. So other than that, I think they had a pretty good season. Obviously, they didn't get promoted, which was obviously the goal. Watford, Javi Garcia's back in the dugout. Jack, how long does he last? How long are we giving him?
6
I think
months.
he done it just over a year last time. I think he was in. So that's quite a long time, Steve, for a Watford manager.
I also think it's really strange the fact that he turned up to the training ground and he put the same code in from when he was the last manager and still managed to get in the building. Like, because they hadn't changed it for like 6 years. Like, how is that a security protocol you have in place where you just keep the codes the same? It doesn't make any sense.
That's what it is. They all have the same one.
So do you think when he left last time, do you think he gets like a leaving present? And then if you return, you have to take that present back?
Oh, probably, yeah. Like you get like a shoe or something. They go, well, bring it back. Come on.
That's it. 6 months later. Come on. See it through.
But,
what did you go for, Chris? Well,
oh, blimey. This is... I think the Blades, I think they might just edge it. I keep saying that about Sheffield United. They've got a good squad. They've got good players.
They have.
Time you start delivering on the field. I mean, 3 goals, Steve, in 9 games. That is absolutely pathetic.
It's absurd.
But this is another thing for them. It's the international break might help them, Jack. It might have come at the right time. Gives them
the
a
last
little
international
time.
break did it?
No, but it might this time. They're at home. I'm going for a home win. I'm going to go for a 2-0. They're going to keep a clean sheet and they're going to score 2 goals.
Well, actually, before this international break, they actually won one against Oxford, by the way. So they did get one positive.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-0. Chrissy Wilder's he's a good manager at this level. He knows what it takes. It might take a little bit of time to turn around, and they're only 12 points. They're only 12 points off the playoffs, Steve. Which I know
which is crazy.
They're bottom of the league. The bottom of the league. You're thinking, you never know in football.
Yeah, it is crazy the fact that they're bottom of the league and they're only 12 points off. I don't think they'll get automatics now. I think 12 points is quite a distance, but playoffs quite easily still, for sure.
They have, yeah. They have still got Tom Cannon. He's still only scored 1 goal for them. It is odd fish. It is, mate.
Shall we quick fire the next 2 to get to the last one?
Yeah, go on. Stoke.
Okay.
Stoke, Wrexham. Wrexham are unbeaten in the last 5 going into this, by the way. They are scoring goals. I think they've scored in every game this season, I believe, Wrexham. Stoke haven't lost to Wrexham, though, in the last 5, winning 4. Drawing 1. Stoke at home. How do you reckon this will go, Steve?
I've got 1-0 Stoke.
Oh, okay. Rich?
That'll be the first time that Wrexham haven't scored then, Steve, because they've scored in every single game.
Yeah.
Home advantage for me, I think, should see them through. But I think Wrexham will score, and I'll go 2-1 to Stoke.
3-0 Stoke. 2-2. I'm gonna go 2-1 Stoke.
He's copying me. You ain't going to get nowhere in this table, Jack. You're getting nowhere in this table.
Well, that's it. Steve's just opened all our results. What we go together, Rich. We don't get anything, and then he starts piling the pressure on for you.
Well, I like being different, so I make sure that changing it up, make sure I'm not copying people, because I might get some points and win. That's what it's there for. I'm not like Jack who just copies one or the other.
How am I supposed to know what you pair have gone for?
Okay, Jack, you go first for this one, mate. What have you got for this one?
Right, West Brom, Preston. Right, I'll tell you what I've got. West Brom haven't lost to Preston in the last 5, by the way. But Preston haven't lost in the last 5. So I've got a 1-1 draw.
Ooh, okay. I've gone 2-2.
Rich?
I'm going to go for a home win. I don't think it'll be a great game.
Yeah.
I think West Brom will edge it 1-0.
Oh, different. There you go. See, Jack, when you go first, you don't copy us. It's great.
You can't exactly change why you sat there, can you? Right, the last one. King Power Stadium. Leicester taking on Pompey. A game that will be remembered for Milan Mandrick, who owned both clubs, by the way. So I think he'll get a good standing ovation.
Is this an evening kickoff?
It is.
Yes, 7:45. It's a disgrace.
Is that because of rugby? Is that because of rugby, Steve?
Yeah, but there is some good news. We're going to have our first little final whistle meetup with Jack and me and Dan. Going to go to Nando's and have some food beforehand, so that'll be nice.
4-0 Leicester, 5-0
Where
Leicester.
What are you going for? What's your dish at Nando's?
So I've changed it because I'm being healthy. I've lost 3 stone in the last sort of 3 or 4 months.
Big shout out to both of you for losing all that weight, Jack.
Yeah, Jack's incredible. 8 stone, Jack, isn't it? That's insane.
Nearly 9 stone now, yeah.
So I've changed it up a bit, and because whenever I go to a gig, we always go to Nando's beforehand. So and I got some stick yesterday from my sister because I have half a chicken, I have hearty grains, and I have the broccoli, which is a disgrace because I usually have half a chicken, garlic bread, and chips. But I'm trying to be healthier, so yeah.
That's it. Yeah, Rich, what do you have actually when you go Nando's?
I don't really like that spicy. So probably chicken burger. I like the chips. I like the garlic bread. A bit of sauce on there, a bit of the Nando's sauce, but the mild one. I don't really like something that's too. Half a chicken and chips still slap Steve.
To be fair, half a chicken is a new. I used to have the burger, but half a chicken is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty good.
I think Rich has read that wrong, to be fair. It's like the chicken slaps Steve. I'd be worried. Right. What do you reckon, Steve?
I've gone for a 3-0 Leicester win in this one. I think the international breakers will give plenty of time for the players that didn't go away. So you've got Ramsey still there, who's coming back into it after his red card. You've got Carranza another couple of weeks at the training ground with the team. I don't think we'll see a change in team. I think we'll go out the same as we did against Swansea. And look, I think we're going to be just slightly too much for them in the sense of 3-0. That's not slightly too much, is it? That's a lot too much, but still a 3-0 win.
I'll let Rich go first.
I think it's a home win. I think it's a banker. I think it's a game that you really must. You see Portsmouth come to town, and you're thinking, if you're going to be up there, you've got to beat them, Jack. I think Pompey are going to struggle on the road. I think they're going to get a lot of their points at home. We played them; they didn't really impress me, and we should have beaten 2-0. Obviously, we conceded that late goal, so I'm going to go 2-0 Leicester. Probably Fatu will get another goal on his left foot, a banger. Nobody learns, let him cut inside and just smash one in the top corner. So, Yeah, I think 2-0, comfortable win for your boys.
Yeah, Leicester, Jordan James is picked up, hasn't he? Very impressive, to be fair. 2 goals in his last 2. For Tawu, he's just incredible, isn't he, when he cuts it on that left foot. Portsmouth, though, yeah, they've had a lot of injuries. I think Ramsey, is it Jacob Ramsey?
Murphy.
Jacob Murphy. Yeah,
Murphy.
He's been injured. He's been out for a while.
I'm bloody thinking about Ramsey. Yeah, him. He's injured for this game, by the way. So it's a real blow for them, Messinio said. So I think Leicester get the job done in this. I'm going to go 3-0 to the Foxes.
He's copied you, Steve, again.
Yeah, could have changed it to 4, Jack. Be a bit different. God. Disgrace. Absolute disgrace.
I'm all right. We'll shake hands after if it's 3-0, so it helps. Every little helps, I think, and hopefully we'll see how these next 3 prediction shows go. This one and then the other 2 as well. So it's a crucial week for everybody. I mean, myself. To be honest, I think
you need a big week.
I need to kick up the arse, to be fair, mate. I don't know what's happened. I've had a massive fall off. I'm a bit like Sheffield United. Right down the bottom and don't look like I'm going anywhere anytime soon at this rate. So, yeah, hopefully Leicester win 3-0. We've got to get a job done. Steve, did you read the article about Martin Cifuentes about life being Leicester's manager and he has said?
I've seen bits of it. I'll be honest with you, mate. I've been up since 4:30, and I've been really busy with work, so I just haven't had a chance to do anything. So, but I did see some of the quotes on Twitter about it, and look, he's always saying the right thing as a manager. Yeah. You want somebody that's invested and wants to be here long term, as we all know, and as Rich said earlier. Management and contracts being ripped up so easily nowadays. So, giving a manager some time is the best thing to happen. But yeah, I'm here for it, but I would like to see a bit more attacking football that he talked about because, he said he wants to implement attacking football. I haven't seen much of that yet. So get some more because, it's boring playing out from the back.
Fair point. Right. I've discussed the article on the channel. I've bloody paid for it. £1.50 it bloody charged me, by the way, for that.
Oh, should let me, Jack, I'll send you a link where you don't have to pay for any firewalls.
Sure.
Not firewalls. Yeah. So it's free. Like it's just web archive. You just put that in, post the link into the article, and you can read it for free.
Oh, I didn't know that. You have to send it.
Yeah. Easy. I'll put it in the group. There you go, Rich. You can have that as well.
I think
lovely. Because I paid bloody £1.50, and I was like, and I just said I'll just pay it because nobody has to. And then obviously I read the article, and I thought it was an intriguing one. To be fair, I like the manager. I think it's a big 6 games for him as well to really push on this team after the second international break he's had with him now. So yeah, big week for Leicester, big week for every team in the Championship, bottom and top of the table.
Who have you got Tuesday? Have you got a whole Tuesday night?
Whole Tuesday, and then Millwall away on Saturday.
Are they both away? Hull and Millwall?
Yeah.
There's points there for you on offer.
Well, we bloody hope so. I mean, when we go to Hull, the only thing we enjoy is the bloody food. So
7 points. 7 points will be a decent week for you.
Yeah. I think 9 points would be really nice.
Well, I think anybody. We've got Charlton Tuesday and then West Brom next Saturday lunchtime. And I think even if we took 7 points, I think that'd be decent.
God, yeah.
I'll be happy with that. Look, obviously, we all want to get 9. If you could get a 9-point week a couple of times, Jack, through the season, that's going to lift you right up the top of the table. I mean, if you get 9 points or we got 9 points in the next 3 games, I think we'll be sitting pretty near the top.
Yeah,
agreed.
The Portsmouth match preview is live at 8:30 with me and Steve. We'll be back on the channel for that to talk to a Portsmouth fan about life. It's what's going on at Fratton Park with their season, and obviously looking ahead to this one. Big game, as they always on Championship. But no, thanks for watching, everyone. Really appreciate it. Hit a like on this video stream if you enjoyed the Championship predictions. Subscribe to the channel. Go and subscribe to the Suffolk Crunch. Rich, what's going on at Suffolk Crunch, mate? When's the match preview out?
Tonight, I'm going to have a bit of food after this sandwich, and then I'll do a quick 20 minutes and have a look at town, have a look at Borough, see who's the he's not settled in that greatly, Oddfish. We chatted about him before on the stream, didn't we? And he struggled, McAteer. I think he went away with Republic of Ireland. I don't think he got any minutes for them, Jack. He didn't play against Norwich, so I would expect him to be on the bench tomorrow night. We got a couple of injuries, but hopefully they'll be all right. But yeah, I'll be chatting about that, and I'll be leaving tomorrow lunchtime for the trek up to.
Enjoy. I'll be watching.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good game. I think it'd be a decent game on a Friday night, and obviously hope that we come back with something.
That's it, mate. Me and Steve can go and put our feet up, can't we, Steve, before the Portsmouth game, knowing our games last, so we know what the table's going to look like and where we are if we win the game. So fantastic. If you're watching us on playback, everyone, let us know your predictions as well. How you think your team's going to get on this weekend. And that is it from us. Take care. We'll be back Sunday at 8:30 for the Championship predictions, Week 11. We'll also be discussing Week 10 and see how many points we can all do.
See if it benefited that Jack copied people's homework.
We'll see. Take care.